Good day, everyone. I'm Lian Rose Lumero, and I will be your discussant for this afternoon. So, my topic is all about differentiated instruction. According to Carol Ann Tomlinson, differentiated instruction means of tailoring instruction to meet the learner's individual needs. This provides the learners the opportunity to maximize their learning, whether as an individual or in a small groups. And it is also means changing the pace, level, or kind of instruction the teacher provides in response to individual learners' needs, style, or interest. So from the definition itself, differentiating instruction means we need to adjust the kind of instruction that we provide to our learners that are suited to their level, to their academic level, to their interests, and to their overall performance. So through differentiated instruction, teacher take into account who they teach, what they teach, and how they teach. So dito dapat alam natin na when we implemented differentiated instruction, alam natin kung sino yung tinuturuan natin, kung ano ang tinuturo natin, at kung paano ito ituro. So, what are the principles of differentiating instruction, and when do we know that we are implementing differentiated instruction? If we follow these principles. So first, all students participate in respectful work. Given that learners are diverse, they have different needs, different background, and challenges that encounter inside the classroom. So here, we need or teacher need to cultivate or improve a culture of respectful environment. An environment that have mutual respect because it is very important in implementing differentiated instruction. Second, adopts flexible grouping, which includes whole class learning, pairs, student-selected groups, teacher-selected groups, and random groups. And last, students are assessed in a variety of ways to demonstrate their own thoughts and growth. So, since differentiated instruction is providing opportunities to our learners, that means we provide more activities, or teachers should provide more activities for them to explore, for them to have an option. So, in that way, we should also provide a variety of ways of option for them to be assessed. So, how we differentiated? So, in the principle of differentiated instruction, there are three ways on how we can implement differentiated instruction. So, that is, we can differentiate the content, what is taught, we can differentiate the process, how it is taught, and we can also differentiate the product or how learning is assessed. So, let's first discuss the differentiating via content. So, differentiating via content, it is by offering a text appropriate to the learner's reading. So, this means providing students with additional resources that match their level of understanding. So, there are four ways the teachers can differentiate via content. This involves compacting the curriculum, learning contract, tiered lesson, and leveled text. So, there are four ways the teachers can differentiate via content. This involves compacting the curriculum, learning contract, tiered lesson, and leveled text. So, the first one is compacting the curriculum. So, compacting the curriculum, where the teacher determines which parts of the lesson do the learners have prior knowledge about and highlight those areas that learners have not mastered yet. So, meaning, it is a technique for differentiating instruction that allows teachers to make adjustments to curriculum for students who have already mastered the material to be learned. So whatever the student are engaged during the regular classroom instruction should be the same subject matter. So, for example, kapag ang isang learner has a complete understanding sa math curriculum being taught, he or she should spend the time the rest of the class is learning math, doing math as well. So the second one is learning contracts. So, learning contracts are individual agreements between the teachers and the learners or their parents where the teacher provides a certain level of freedom while the learner agree to meet class expectation within the given time. So, in learning contracts, it is called a goals contract that can help you set transparent expectation for the learners or students. So the contract lists any action that the students pledging to complete to ensure success in the course includes attendance, class participation, completion of classworks, or homework. So, sinasabi dito na yung learning contract list, ito yung mga action ng students or learners na parang nangangako sila na halimbawa sa attendance na dapat I will attend at least 80% of class sessions. In course participation naman na dapat I will contribute at least one comment to every in-class discussion. Sa group project naman na dapat I will communicate at least weekly with peers in my work groups about our shared course project. And sa study or assignments naman na dapat I will spend a minimum of 1 hour per day reviewing notes and working on assignments. So the next one is tiered lesson. So tiered lesson are taking single lessons and adapting them to the needs of learners of different skills and competency levels. So in tiered lesson, these provide teachers with a means of assigning the different tasks within the same lesson or unit. The task will vary according to the student readiness, interest, and learning profile. So what can be tiered? Ano ba yung pwede i-match na with activities and with the kind of learners that we have? We can tier or match that content, the process, and product through activities, homework, materials, or assessment or writing prompts that the teacher provide. So what are the steps? Say for example, identify key concept. What should the student know, understand, and be able to do? So dapat very explicit at alam natin kung ano ba ang gusto natin i-achieve. Second is determine interest, readiness, learning profile. So dapat alam natin what kind of learners do we have inside the classroom. 3, create an activity that is interesting, challenging, causes learners to use key skills to understand concept or ideas. And 4, adjust task according based on learners' abilities. So ito yung 3 kinds of learners, the struggling learners, on-level learners or average, and high-able learners. In order to tier lesson or activities, the following step could be considered. Choose activities based on the learner's essential learnings. Think and consider the learners. This includes readiness levels in terms of skills, reading, thinking, stock information, and others. Interest, learning styles, and talents. Create activities that are interesting and cause the learners to use key skills of the unit. Chart the complexity of the activities. Create activities to ensure challenge and success. This includes consider materials ranging from basic to advanced. Consider form of expression from familiar to unfamiliar ones. Consider learners' experience from personal to unfamiliar. And last, match learning tasks to learners based on their learning styles and readiness. So again, in a tiered lesson, it is provide a specific activity for the kind of learners that we have. So ito yung struggling learners, on-level learners or average learners, and high-able learners. So if you have a set of struggling learner, you provide a different activity for them. For average learner naman, they are also have a different kind of activity for them, and for high-able learners naman, there's also provide a kind of different activities for them. So the last one is leveled text. In leveled text, it provides the learners with content written at the reading readiness of the learners. So this means that teacher can use leveled readers to provide target instruction for student learning at different reading levels. Like for example, a teacher might use a leveled text below a student current reading level to help them build their words recognition skills. So now let's move on to differentiating via process. So in differentiating via process, process deals with how teachers teach and process the lessons to the learners. This can be done in various ways. However, the teacher must consider the learners in making decision. Some strategies on the use differentiating. So, differentiating process, this refers to how student make sense or understand the information, ideas, and skills being studied. Differentiating process involves providing varied option at different levels of difficulty or based on differing student interest. So to differentiate learning process is by having guided group reading or provide audio versions of text. So when we differentiate the process, meaning to say the learners are adjusting the kind of process or teaching learning process that they provide. So traditionally, when they teaching reading, the teacher provide reading materials and let the student read silently. But in this case, in differentiating instruction, teacher can provide more opportunities for the learners to process, to understand, and to get the content. So here are some strategies on the use differentiating instruction via process includes cubing, wrapped, graphic organizer, KWL chart, sequence chart, process chart, concept map, and fishbone map. So in cubing is a teaching strategy that helps the learners look into a topic from six sides to enable them to understand its complexity. The principle is to develop a strong topic by looking into it from the following perspective. The following are describing it, comparing it, associating it, analyzing it, applying it, and arguing for and against it. So the next one is raft or role audience format topic. So in raft, it is a writing strategy that aims to help the learners gain a better understanding of their role as a writer and communicator by developing their ideas through the development of a clear sense of purpose in writing. So depending on the focus of the lesson, the teacher could use the strategy to make the learners think about the topic or writing activity from perspective perfect in the context of the unit lesson. So the next one is graphic organizer. Graphic organizer is a visual means of displaying information using a combination of text and visual forming a diagram. It arranges information in such a way that would describe their relationship with one another. Therefore, making the concept, it tries to portray more comprehensible to those looking at the materials. And next is the example of KW chart and sequence chart. Next is the example of process chart. And last is the example of concept map and fishbone map. So now let's move on to the last one, which is differentiating via product. Based on a product guides the learners to a list possibilities of product to demonstrate their learning of a concept. This can be done by providing the learner with choices relative to the product they may need to produce. So how we differentiate the assessment? So differentiate the product or assessment is by offering learners a choice of their final output or product or by varying and shortening assessments. So aside from the traditional paper, pencil, and multiple choice kind of assessment, who is the main character, what is the central theme of the story, we can provide more opportunities for them to apply what they have learned. Now you can have reading blogs, you can have literature circles, you can have worksheets, reading diary, and many other kinds of output wherein they showcase what they have learned. So that's the end of my discussion. Thank you for watching.